Greetings, Guzzlers. I'm going to show you how to make a fruit ganache. We're going to make a raspberry white chocolate ganache. So in there I've got raspberries. I've got about getting on for 200 grams of fresh raspberries, and what we want to do is heat them up so they start to soften, because we're going to then strain them because we don't want all the pips and bits. Okay, and then I've got some white chocolate chips, 340 grams of that, and then I've got 120 mils of double cream, and we're going to combine all that together to make this ganache. So the chocolate is in the big bowl because that's where the final mixture goes. We're not going to melt that, we're going to use the cream and fruit mixture. So I'm going to get heat in these. So using a spatula, I'm just helping sort of squash them. As soon as they get that heat started getting through to them, they started softening. So you can see it's obviously getting quite liquid. I suppose, I mean, I wouldn't mind if you left the pips in, because I like, you know, the pips or the seeds left in, like in jam, things like that. But a lot of people don't. And obviously the other problem is, depending on what you're going to use this ganache for, you might not want it lumpy as such. So we're going to be removing those pips. Now I'm just going to carry on like that. It's almost there, and then when I think it's sort of liquid enough, we are going to be heating the sieved raspberries. So we're not going to boil it at this stage, but when I think that's softened enough, which is almost there, we'll put it through the sieve. I've made sure I've got all the seeds out of there, but I'm going to keep that pan because I'm going to do the next stage in there rather than create more washing up. So I've already put half of it through, so we're just straining it all through, and then we'll just discard the pips and the whatever it is that hasn't gone through the sieve, and then we'll be ready to start heating that up with the cream so that we're ready to add it to the chocolate. If you were just doing a normal chocolate ganache, you would do your right ratio of cream to chocolate, but when you want to add like this, you know, like a fruit to it, you need to reduce the cream down by the sort of equivalent amount of the puree, if you like, that you're putting in. So I return that sieved puree, if you like, to there, and I also add in my double cream. Now what we want to do is bring this up to a boil on a nice gentle heat, and we want to get it to the point it's boiling. We don't want it boiling over, at which point we're just going to tip it into our chocolate, and then we just leave it for 2 minutes just to start heating that chocolate up and melting it before we start mixing it in. So you're going to need to keep this moving because you don't want it to start to catch on the bottom. So that's just starting to boil. So like I say, what we're now going to do is I'm just going to pour that over that chocolate, and then we're just going to leave that for 2 minutes to let it start melting that chocolate. So we've had our 2 minutes, now stirring it in. The colour deepened actually as it mixed with the chocolate. It's quite runny. I did err a little bit on the cautious side with the amount of chocolate. I suspect I'm probably going to need to melt some more chocolate in it. If you need to do that and this is cooled too much, just stick it in the microwave, 5-second bursts. You don't want to overdo it, and then you can melt some more chocolate in it. If on the other hand it's too thin, then again warm up some cream and add a little bit more cream. That's something that's in the oven. And at that point I'm going to turn my oven off before I forget. And if it was to curdle or split, again add more cream, and that should sort that out. So just now I'm going to leave this. It is thickening slightly, but it is still very warm. I'm going to leave this for about 2 hours at room temperature, when it should be at that consistency for piping with, if that's what you want to do with it. If it does go too thick, sometimes whisk it up, get a bit of air in it, that can loosen it up enough for piping. But there you go, that's your raspberry ganache.